George Will is here, NewsNation senior political contributor, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist. George, you've been doing this an awful lot longer than I have, and you're smarter too. Am I making too big of a deal out of this?
No, when a Democrat winds up complaining about the press, he's picking up a theme that really entered our politics in a big way in Nixon's first term, when his vice president, Spiro Agnew, went around the country complaining about the nattering nabobs of negativism and other overuses of alliteration to complain about the press. And Republicans, it seemed to me, conservatives, have a pretty strong argument against the coverage they get. When a Democrat says the press is being unfair to him, and when he says it's unfair because they're not playing by the rules.
What rules?
Yes, who wrote the rules?
Who wrote the rules? Who agreed to play by the rules? The White House Correspondents Association. The White House Correspondents Association believes in the public interest to make it clear that as a presidential press conference at home or abroad, there are no preconditions regarding questions, which is interesting because this White House has a track record of predicting what the questions were. These were the cue cards that were caught by an eagle-eyed photographer. This is now going back a year and a half. Of a President Biden press conference, and it had the reporter's picture, who he was supposed to call for, and then the talking points for the answer. So one would imagine he pretty much knew what the questions were, and you would think over the past year or so he has gotten, or his handlers have gotten far more restrictive with the press. They certainly have in terms of access. Why now is the White House press corps, that certainly prefers Joe Biden over Donald Trump from an intellectual standpoint, and a personal standpoint, why would they be turning on him now?
If you're confined to the White House campus, and one person on the campus is what you're there for, and you never see him, and he doesn't have informal interactions with you, doesn't even joke with them the way Reagan and some other people do, you go stir crazy. You begin to feel as though you're being fed like pablum from the president, that you're a child getting pureed peaches by a spoon, and they don't like, they're bored.
Well, they're bored, but I also think it's interesting because the White House trades on access, and it's not just access to the president, right? It's access to members of the administration, the chief of staff, cabinet members, on and on and on. And if you break the rules, then you get punished. That's the way the White House enforces its discipline. It's interesting that the White House press corps is now fighting back at the risk of getting punished. Obviously, we're going to ask this Bloomberg reporter when he gets back from the trip if he still has his White House press credentials, if he's able to join us and discuss. But what's the next step of this? Is the next step of this the White House starting to get stories out there about how hard it is to ask Biden a question, how many days it's been since a press conference?
We may have passed a little inflection point when the Wall Street Journal published, I guess last week, that long, heavily reported story based on 45 conversations with different people about the multiplying evidence of the declining capacities of the president. That might have broken the dam. For the White House press corps, if they don't have access, you can't threaten to punish them by denying their access.
Yeah, the flip side also is they have to prove their relevancy, right? If they're just taking whatever is spoon-fed to them, they can do that from somewhere other than on a beautiful trip to the G7 in Italy.
Exactly.
Where does this go from here? Because I think reasonable people can agree that there is a fear, a hatred, an anger, a loathsome, whatever you want to call it, among the Washington press elite against Donald Trump. And while Joe Biden is imperfect to them, he is at least not Donald Trump. Does their own credibility at this point rise above their like for Biden, dislike for Trump?
Again, Leland, we're in uncharted territory. We've had presidents before who were syntactically challenged. Dwight Eisenhower famously could get lost in a sentence. But he was also a very shrewd man who once said to his press secretary, be careful about what you say about Formosa, now Taiwan. And Ike said, don't worry, I'll confuse them. He knew how to deflect them. That's different than what you have now. This is a president whose own people don't trust him to improvise and articulate his own positions on the fly.
That for the President of the United States is saying something in terms of...
Well, you've had Reagan, you'd had Jack Kennedy, who was a charmer and
right.
banter and self...
George W. Bush, who had nicknames for everybody, even those that didn't like him. Yeah, no, very different. Mr. Will, good to see you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.